Good morning everybody, Dr. Andrews here and welcome to my assembly. Before I get started, I just wanted to share this piece of information with you. Did you know that buying ice cream results in shark attacks? I'm being serious, look, I've got a graph and everything to back me up. Okay, more on that later. Today my assembly is going to be on correlation versus causation. Now I'm sure you've come across correlation before. This is a statistical technique which tells us how strongly a pair of variables are related and change together. And I'm sure you've come across this in science, in maths, etc. Causation, though, may be a new concept, and this takes correlation a step further. Causation says that any change in the value of one variable directly causes a change in the value of another variable. So, for example, here I have a shape, and half of my shape is filled with blue, and the other half of my shape is filled with pink. And if I increase the area of the blue part of my shape, this causes the area of the pink half of my shape to get smaller. And I can plot that on a graph. So the size of my blue segment is increasing. That means the size of my pink segment is decreasing. I've got lovely correlation, and there is a direct causation there. But correlation does not always equal causation. Correlation could be caused by maybe some other factors that link two variables together, or there could be absolutely no link between two variables at all, and their correlation could be just pure coincidence. Let's go back to my earlier example. So I've implied that eating ice cream causes an increase in shark attacks. And the correlation of this graph clearly shows that. As the number of ice cream sales increases, so too do the number of shark attacks. So the conclusion you could come to from this graph is that sharks really like ice cream. No, that can't possibly be what's going on here. So let's look at some other underlying factors that maybe could cause a link or could show that there's no link between these two variables at all. What I've got to do is you ask yourself a question. When do we buy more ice cream? Well, usually when it's hot and sunny. And when it's hot and sunny, it tends to be the summer, and we tend to be on holiday. And when we're on holiday, we often go to the beach. And when you're on the beach, it's inevitable that you will end up swimming in the sea. And this leads me on to my second question, which is, where do sharks live? Well, they live in the sea. So what we've actually shown here is that there's no link between the ice cream sales and shark attacks. There could be a link, or a correlation, causation link, between swimming in the sea and shark attacks, but we need to look into that further. Okay, so why am I talking about ice cream and shark attacks? Why am I telling you this? Well, at the moment, there are absolutely tons of pieces of data and statistics and causation and correlation being made available in the public. And I know that with the current coronavirus problem, loads of you are more engaged with the news than ever. And I just wanted to get you to think. What sparked me to want to do this assembly was being made aware of this graph here. And this shows that as the cases of coronavirus increase, so do the number of McDonald's restaurants in a country. And so this graph could be implying that increased numbers of McDonald's restaurants is causing an increase in coronavirus cases. So we have to think sensibly about this. Is there a real causation here, or are there other factors? Okay, so rather than just accepting what we see on the graph, we need to think about what other underlying links could be causing this apparent correlation. And that makes me think about junk food. And it's well understood that eating a lot of junk food and having an unhealthy diet leads to obesity. It's also well understood that obesity causes a range of other health problems. And it is understood that people with underlying health issues become more susceptible to picking up illnesses. And one of these illnesses could be COVID-19. So rather than having found this magical link between increased number of McDonald's restaurants causing increased number of coronavirus, we may have just found another link which proves, again, other well-known established scientific understanding. So what do I want you to take away from this? Well, firstly, I want you to accept that correlation does not necessarily equal causation, however fantastic the graph or statistics may appear. You need to think before accepting what you read. Be discerning. Employ that education that you've had and look at other things that could be contributing. Otherwise, we may all end up in a situation something like this. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that I would not look good with a shaved head. Okay, well, thank you everybody for listening to my assembly. I hope you took some entertainment and maybe a little bit of education from it. And if you want to discuss correlation and causation further, here's one more graph for you to have a look at. Can you find the underlying factors that cause a link between tornadoes and the number of shark attacks? Thanks very much, everybody.